We are back in business. Hello and welcome to the Gameable Audio. I am your host, Christofer Schenström. And with me today, this is yet another game special as we're taking a look at Overlook Trail, the game. And by my side, I have the composer, Douglas Holmquist. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Chris.
It is so much fun to have you here again. It's been a while. Of course, we met each other earlier this year, but having you side by side with me talking about music within a podcast has been a while.
It sure has. Like a couple of years.
A couple of years. I do believe I have, at least when we released that specific episode. If people just hang with me just a couple of seconds, that one was released back in 2018. We're talking about 7 years ago.
Wow, pre-pandemic stuff.
Pre-pandemic. Has anything even happened before the pandemic? Like, those are the couple of times we're living in now. And a lot of it's changed in both of our lives as well.
Yes, for sure.
It is crazy. No, but it is so much fun to have you by my side. And we've been talking a little bit about the different kind of soundtracks and everything you released over the course of time as well. Like, we need to do something together again. And now that has happened. And you specifically chose the Overlook Trail. And why that is, we will get to the bottom of that during this episode, most definitely. But before we're starting everything, and for people that are not natively Swedish or understand Swedish that might not know a little bit more about you because they haven't been able to listen to that specific episode, would you care to explain a little bit about your origin story? Like, where did you begin with music?
Yes. So I became interested in music sort of almost overnight. When I was in 6th grade. I had enjoyed listening to music before that, but I was, into other stuff like drawing and playing video games, playing soccer, that kind of stuff. But when I was in 6th grade, something just shifted in me. I don't know what it was. So I asked my mom to teach me the basics of piano and guitar. And then I just kept on teaching myself chords and, song like Beatles songs and that kind of stuff.
Did your mother know piano prior to this, or was she also like okay?
Yeah, she's been like a hobby violinist all her life, and also when she was younger, she played a lot of guitar, and she knew sort of the very basic foundations of like piano chords and stuff. That was enough to get me going. So, I mean, since then, music has been my main thing. So when I was around that age, like 13 and like all those years after, like through my teenage years, I was in a lot of bands, and that continued into my 20s.
Were there any specific bands you were in, like a specific genre, or did you experiment a little bit with the genres here?
I started experimenting after a while. The first couple of bands I was in, that was like during the grunge era. So we played, Nirvana covers, Rage Against the Machine covers, that kind of stuff. After a few years, maybe I got a little bit more into like Swedish indie pop for a while. Like Eggstone and what was it more? Popsicle, Bob Hund, those kinds of bands. And then I sort of shifted I got really into emo and hardcore and that kind of stuff for a couple of years. So that was a phase. And then from that on, it went sort of more into experimental music, like post-rock and electronic music, like discovering Aphex Twin and that kind of stuff. And then since then, it's been all over.
Oh, okay. But over the course of experimenting with music and so on, and being so, I would say, enthusiastic about music, like, did you make any choice in the gymnasium to go more towards music already there, or
no? I was thinking about it. like going to music gymnasium, but I wasn't like a super good instrumentalist the way I saw most people who, they were more like Yngwie Malmsteen type people who went that way. I was never into like playing fast solos or reading sheet music and that kind of stuff that you needed. I was more into just making my own stuff and experimenting. So I probably felt a little insecure about even trying to get in, because I was more of a songwriting, experimenting kind of musician rather than playing fast scales and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So I didn't, but I played in tons of bands during that period. And one of the bands that I started at the last year of gymnasium was a band called Dr. Higgins. We were pretty serious. We were very serious about our music, like not trying to make a living from it, really. Even that we didn't have that aspiration, but we were like really serious about putting out records, like starting our own label, and just going around the whole country playing as much as possible.
Oh.
And that's actually what years later got me into the video game industry, because Dennis Gustafsson and Henrik Johansson, who made the game we're about to talk about, they had been really into that band years earlier and asked me to make music for their first iOS game, Sprinkle.
Interesting.
Yes.
That was a good connection.
Yeah. So they saw me, or at least Dennis, I think, saw us perform in Norrköping or Linköping or something. Because we played a lot of like small festivals and like student parties and that kind of stuff.
Because even though you're living in the southern part of Sweden today, I understand you're from Stockholm originally.
Yeah, exactly. But I moved to Skåne, south of Sweden, when I was 15.
Just stay high.
Yeah, been here since then. Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, but for you, it's like, did you play any video games when you were younger as well, or was that like a whole other kind of aspect that you like when you got the question? It's like, hey, would you like to make music for a video game? Like, what were do you remember any initial reactions to that?
Yes, I do, very vividly. I was super happy about it. I was thrilled because I had loved playing video games since I was a little kid. I had sort of a gap for some years. Like for my teen years, I would say there's kind of a gap because I made so much music.
Okay.
That there were a couple of years there where I didn't play a lot. But before that, when I was a kid, I played lots and lots of point-and-click games, adventure games. That was my main thing. So I played everything I could get my hands on. And later on when I got back into it, that was sort of when like the early 2000s, when sort of indie games started becoming big. That was sort of when I got back into it.
Okay. It is very welcoming from Sweden's perspective for being so technical as well. And I would say from Sweden's perspective as well, from the opportunity of making studios that create games, we've been quite early on that ball. And especially making smaller studios. Like we have multiple smaller studios that made these iOS games, Mediocre being one of them then.
Yeah. For sure. It was we were sort of unintentionally part of a phenomenon back then with Mediocre. It was like what I consider a couple of golden years of mobile gaming there when the App Store started and all that, and you could still like charge $1 or $2 for a like pretty decent game that had some sort of core to it, and was not just about creating as many in-app purchases as possible, but rather creating like a smaller experience.
Those were other times, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember playing these games and like how the trend kind of changed over the course of time.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Also, this was your first gig getting into video games, working with Sprinkle then.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Following up, you had multiple other titles they've been working on, helping out. Did you get any other gigs surrounding video game music other than from the same direction?
Yes. Well, I just got a lot of proposals from like other developers. Many of them were like pretty young people who were just starting out, and but so for the first couple of years I didn't work with anybody but Mediocre. But then I started getting other stuff as well, but they have sort of been like Mediocre, and then later on Dennis and Henrik's new studios, they have sort of been my main clients, if you call it that. They are clients. We're also friends, so it feels weird to call them clients, but
they're
yeah, exactly. They're the people I've worked with the most, for sure. But I've worked with plenty of other developers as well.
Yeah, over the course of time, I'm aware of this. But considering, like, what was your main kind of reason of selecting certain clients? Like, from what I understand, when you started getting proposals when you were a younger composer, the reason why you turned them down seemed to be their age. Like they were starting and they were young.
Oh, not. I didn't turn them down. I think I just mentioned that age thing because it was, people who had like grand schemes and plans, but nothing ever happened. so I didn't really turn a lot of people down, I think. It was more mostly just stuff that never happened.
Never got released.
Yeah, exactly. But later on, I got other slightly bigger studios that I worked with.
Studios that had a little bit more potential on paper, maybe.
Yes. I guess you could
say the least.
Yeah.
But yeah, over the course of time, you started making more and more soundtracks, and especially these last kind of 2-3 years, it seems like you've been working very effectively.
Yes, I've been quite busy.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
One soundtrack that seems to be coming around a little bit more, especially with DLCs and so on, is Teardown. Sorry.
Yes, we have made a bunch of DLCs. And I've released them all as separate soundtracks. So there's like, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours of Teardown music that I've done.
That's insane.
Yes.
I remember when I followed the development of that game, for example, and it just looked amazing. I tried the demo a little bit, and I don't remember if I ever purchased the game in the end, but it feels like I've been playing it from time to time.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
it doesn't resonate me like the type of game I would like to play because it's so chaotic in how you can play it.
Yeah.
But I love how batshit crazy it can be, though.
Yes, absolutely. And all the modders make it even more crazy.
Oh, yeah,
So
I bet.
Yeah. It's a whole universe of its own.
But considering over the course of time, you've been in the business for quite some time now. Like, how has things changed? Like, how you get work today? Have you gotten so far in your career that you don't really need to reach out to people anymore in the same sense, maybe as before?
Yeah, I would say I have. But the weird thing is that I have never really reached out to people. I have sort of, things have sort of just rolled on by itself. And the times when I've sort of tried to look for jobs, it hasn't, hasn't given me anything. So so I've been sort of I've had a steady stream of recurring clients, I guess you would say.
That's good.
Yeah.
What do you believe would be like the reason why you can get these kind of reoccurring clients, and how did you like initially get them? Was it through like networking, for example?
I think networking in a way, but not that I've set out to network, but I would definitely say that the network that I've built up by just getting to know people, that's that's the thing that has given me all these recurring jobs, for sure.
But that's great. It's like I know a lot of people tend to ask certain questions. It's like, oh, how do you get to work within video game music? Or in my opinion, when people ask me, it's like, how do you get to work within just the video game industry?
Yeah.
And to me, I usually tend to say it's like just networking. It's like knowing people on the inside is really helpful.
Yeah.
But in your case, for getting the reoccurring, I guess just being able to release things that are on high quality, but also on time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm guessing that is the reason why people keep like either recommending you, so you don't need to network, so other people get mouth-to-mouth kind of experience. Like, yeah, you should definitely work with this guy.
Yeah, I think so. Not that I'm sort of the most how do you say this? I'm not a very like planning person. I have sort of sometimes I have a hard time keeping not keeping deadlines. I make sure to do that, but I have sometimes a hard time keeping track of time. I'm not a very organized person, but yeah, for sure, delivering stuff when you've promised to deliver it, that's obviously very important.
Yeah.
But yeah, network, like friends, getting to know people, yeah, that kind of stuff.
Do you believe that the location you're living in today has been an important part in this role as well? Considering you're living in one of the bigger cities of tech within Sweden.
Yeah, I would say absolutely. Malmö has, probably given me lots of opportunities that I wouldn't have had otherwise.
But it's so interesting to get to know you a little bit more on deep. Of course, I've already talked to you, and we've been keeping in contact over the course of the years as well.
Yeah,
not very intimately in any sense, but we've been hanging out. We've been saying hey from time to time, and it has been so much fun to just follow you on your journey. But now that we're here again, I think it's time for us to lean into what we definitely are here to talk about.
Yeah.
One of the later soundtracks that you've been releasing and worked together with multiple people on. I'm just super stoked to talk more about this. So are you ready for the first track of this week?
Absolutely.
Awesome. The first track of this week from the game Overlook Trail is called Edith Part 1. And we're back from the first track of the week, Edith Part 1. And let me just present a little bit of information about the game so everybody is a little bit more aware of what we're going into right now. So the game Overlook Trail was released back on the 27th of March, 2025. And this game was released by the Swedish studio Longhand Electric. The game is available on PC, Mac, Linux, and Steam Deck. And on their Steam page, the game is defined as a game of dreams about games, as you embark on an adventure including arcade gameplay, 3D platforming, and very special puzzles. The player will walk through a dreamy and surreal landscape that challenges the player's curiosity and playfulness. I just love the whole structure of this. But now as we're going to talk a little bit more specifically about the music, but this will of course be in combination with the game a little bit most likely, since they kind of go hand in hand, I would say.
Yes, absolutely.
So when it comes to this, for everybody who's new to this podcast, if this is your first thing, every time we listen to a track, I have this section or segment called emotion. It is basically me leaning backwards in my chair, having headphones on. I will close my eyes and will listen to this specific track over and over again until I feel something. And I note these things down. And of course, this will be kind of the first tagline of what we roll off on. If you see, am I more correct if I had some specific feeling of, oh, was this the intention of the song? Or is it more like my surreal take on it or what I felt? And we talk about that. We'll see.
Yeah.
So, my emotion for Edith Part 1. Space Cowboy. The sparse drums gives a Western tone, while the synth kind of tiptoes around, keeping the mind busy. The synth, it does give a bit more vibe of going somewhere, in which I personally like. There are multiple sections within this track, but from time to time I get the feeling like, didn't I just listen to this? But there are differences, and even if they do spark the similarities, they kinda change up, and I like that. Also to keep in mind, this track is also like 4 minutes and 30 seconds long. It's a long track.
Yep.
And the track, it focuses more on being zen and giving more of an out-of-body experience from what I can gather. But Douglas, I would like to hear, is this the intention of the track? Is it supposed to be zen and give this out-of-body experience?
Yes, I would say yes, absolutely. Although it's quite interesting because the gameplay in this section is quite intense. It's not super hard in the beginning, but it ramps up after a while and gets pretty. I mean, it's a very arcadey sequence, and it gets pretty fast and tricky after a while. But so yes, the function of the music is definitely to keep the player in the zone. Although it's. I think the music, yes, I do think it has a zen quality, but it's quite intense as well. It's not like just ambient yoga music. Zen.
That's true. That is definitely true. That is definitely true.
It's all these bleeps and bloops, arpeggios, things going on. But yeah, I really like that you still feel that it has a calm quality, a zen quality.
It's like the BPM on this track is not like 120 or 140. It's not like a rock track.
No.
So for me listening in on this track and especially thinking about the gameplay wise as well, being more hectic and so on, I think the contrast between what you're experiencing within the game and what you're hearing within the game kind of works together in the sense that, hey, the music is kind of trying to keep you calm, why the mechanics of the puzzle and what's happening does not.
Yes, that's true. Absolutely.
Was that an intended design from the audio perspective of you?
No, I would say that was not intentional, but I'm glad if it's
interpreted that way.
Yeah, exactly. But it's this track is I mean, we ended up in this. The track ended up sounding like this after lots and lots of iterations and like weird, detours and stuff. There's like a lot of weird stuff that led up to the track sounding like this. But when things sort of fell into place for me was when I got this idea from another track, actually, to make a track with 2 different BPMs at the same time. So, because that's what's going on here. For those people who remember the beginning of the track, there's a like steady bass note pulsing in one tempo, and then after a while, when more drums come in, they play in a different tempo, but that is corresponding with the first one. So there's 2 tempos at the same time. I actually stole the idea from a track called Sleepy Pietro, by an artist named Machine Drum, featuring a jazz pianist named Tigran Hamayasan. So my track doesn't sound anything like their track, but the idea, I actually blatantly stole the idea from them to have these two parallel BPMs.
Interesting. That is not, that to me at least, doesn't feel like a common thing to do, to like mash 2 BPMs together.
No, I'd never heard it before. Like obviously, it's very common to have like one tempo and then to change into like the half tempo or the double tempo. That's a very common thing.
The key change.
Yeah, and having key changes and all that. But this is something else. Yeah. So it's a very mathematical approach to music. Like the faster tempo is 1.3333 times the original. I think.
Are you a mathematician as well? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm really not. I'm terrible at maths, so I might even have gotten the numbers wrong. It might be that it's 1.666666 times faster. It's one of those 2, which makes them musically function together as long as you plan out the chord changes and all that. But yeah.
What was the hardest thing to kind of set down? Was it the BPMs, just to figure out those things? Or what was the most complicated thing about setting up this kind of mix? Or I'm guessing this is your first time doing it then.
Yeah. Well, no, figuring out the BPMs I did quite fast. But then it was more a matter of creating something that felt interesting, and on top of that, because I just didn't want it to be like some sort of theoretical piece of music that people could scratch their beards to and feel smart about. I wanted it to work on an emotional level.
Yeah.
So that's what's most important. And I had this idea to have two notes that go through the whole song. And those are the 2 notes that are played by 2 electric pianos that you can hear in the beginning. Those 2 notes reoccur throughout the whole song in different octaves, like, different settings on the piano from mid to very high. Then try to combine them with as many like contrasting chords as possible. So that was also a very theoretical idea that's important to me and interesting to me as a foundation of working with a song. But but it doesn't matter in the slightest if the listener doesn't find the music interesting and beautiful. That's the most important thing for me. But I like to have these sort of theoretical ideas just to get my imagination going.
Yeah. For me, listening to the soundtrack first before playing the game, really, like, it's not my like usual genre that I listen to. For me, I can like switch genres from time to time as well. So I felt a little bit like alienated at first listening to this track. And then I started playing the game and I was like, this track is so well fitted for the experience. It's really good. And then I went back to the soundtrack and I was like, this is actually really good.
Oh, nice.
Like my mind changed is like after I play the game. Like it is so suitable to the experience and I really like that.
That's great.
Before moving on, I would like to hear a little bit, like, of course, you already knew Henrik previous to this as well.
Yeah.
But when you got the questions like, hey, Douglas, I would like for you to work on this soundtrack. Would you want to do that? Like, when did the question pop?
Oh,
or was it you who saw the project and was like, hey, I'm definitely doing the music for this?
No, I did see the project very early on. And he asked me pretty early, but from the very start, he had this idea to have multiple composers in the game. So we're four composers. So it's Niklas Ström, who also did all the sound design in the game. And he also did all the music implementation for the rest of us composers. And it's Karpinska and Pelle Hillström. So it's four composers. And that's an idea that he had pretty early on. But Niklas was the one that was involved in the game. The first one that was involved. Started making music and sound design. And then pretty shortly after that, he asked the rest of us. Okay. And it was a no-brainer for me because I thought it was super interesting. And we were already great friends, me and Henrik. And it was a dream project in many senses because he actually wanted us composers to improvise and come up with ideas. He wanted us to send him music, whatever music we felt like making, and just to see if the music could inspire him to make certain types of levels or whatever.
Yeah, so the music we're hearing. Yeah,
it's like it's a lot of luxury, really. from a composer point of view, it's yeah.
But were you able to see any art or anything from the game before, like, oh, I'm throwing this in? Or did you really go in blind and it's like, hey, I'm just presenting whatever and see what sticks?
Oh, I think I might have written the first track before I even saw that level, at least. I'd seen other things. I'd seen other parts of the game. But I think that it's the level with the rowboat. It's called Ocean. The track is called Ocean. That's like in the beginning of the game when you're like on the rowboat. Ship. Yeah.
Oh, the rowboat. Oh.
The small rowboats in the beginning.
Okay.
So I think I wrote my first sketch for that before I even saw the level. I think you just mentioned that it's a boat or something. Yeah.
Like, since you didn't really see too much of the game initially and you basically had free hands to do anything, was this still, though, like what we're hearing in the final product, was this still your kind of vision for the music right away? Or did you try some other genre, for example?
Yeah, we tried other things before we ended up here. But I think some tracks, I would say at least half of my tracks are like based on the very first idea that I got. And the other half are like this one, things that were iterated a lot and where, we sort of worked on it together, me and Henrik. Discuss things back and forth.
For you personally, do you like when you hit the goal right away with a client, or do you like the iterative process yourself to create something even grander?
Oh, that's
a good question.
It's an excellent question. I haven't even thought about that. I do. That's hard. I do enjoy like the satisfaction of getting it right the first time. From an ego point of view. It's very, very comforting for the ego to get that kind of stuff. But I would say that a lot of the time, the best music for me happens like when you're in conversation with somebody, like in a creative, not just that they want it. Yeah, I wanted it to sound more like Hans Zimmer. That's not a creative conversation. But when you're actually sort of challenging each other and wanting to go deeper into something, that's a beautiful thing when you have good collaboration.
That is a very good answer.
Yeah,
like it is beautifully put. Definitely.
Thanks.
But yeah, we're moving on with time, and we already spoke a little bit about working with other composers, because one of the tracks that I chose was actually not a track that you worked on. So I think that's just an amazing segue to listen in on the next track. And when we get back, both you and me will kind of dissect this track a little bit and look at it from an analytic perspective. And of course, talk a little bit more about, like, not necessarily if you worked with them, but we will solve that with the next conversation coming up.
Yeah.
But the next track that we're going to listen to is named Jupiter. Getting out, not the last track of the week, but the last track that might be your last track within the game, Jupiter. And my emotion for this one, I will start with mine, and of course we would like to hear yours right after, Douglas, as well.
Yeah.
Like, my emotion for Jupiter was, it is a very emotional piece, and it kind of leans into the space of being dramatic. The string converse between each other, and I really love how it kind of becomes hectic and fast, and then tones down and then starts over again like it's new life. I really love this build-up that kind of ends in a crescendo in the last like 40 seconds of this song. It just makes it majestic.
I agree.
That is my take on it. It's like there are certain things that happens. There's not too many different instruments in this track though, but I really love the string instruments for this one. It becomes kind of emotional.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's beautiful. And it's such a nice contrast to this sort of very classic arcadey gameplay. I think it's so beautiful to have this string music.
Yeah. So basically this creates, this music is played, well, what we figured out for most people, it seems to be by the end of this game. The game is quite open, so you literally can walk wherever you want. You can do whatever you want in this game as well. So it is interesting to hear that so many people kind of end up in this lane of the game by the end of it. But during these kind of planet stages, you go through 4 different ones: Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, and then Jupiter. And all of them has the same kind of gameplay. You're basically kind of flying around, picking up like shining balls. And they kind of just add more mechanic as you pass along.
Yeah.
And having this music with the strings and everything, it became a little bit epic, to be honest. Even though the gameplay doesn't really scream epic. It is very basic, I would say. But the music added a whole other level to it. And it felt like I'm playing like a little bit of a cheaper version of a Star Fox game on Super Nintendo. I don't know if you agree to that, but that was kind of my feeling of it. And it was playful and fun.
Yeah. I think the music sort of gives the gameplay. I think it gives the levels. It gives them some kind of epic, majestic feel. Like you get I get a feeling that like I'm in a very like historically interesting place because of the music. It feels like you're in a very old sort of civilization or something that you rediscover. All the
I can see
going
that
through these tunnels and sort of temple-like buildings. So I think the music adds to the general vibe of the place, and also I think it's having this violin and cello music in these levels is nice because it sort of calms you down as you do these kind of tricky twists and turns. In kind of the same way as in Edith Part 1, but still musically very different.
Like one thing that came to mind while you were talking here as well is like, considering the music that we hear in these kind of levels, they seem so suited for those levels. I can't really hear these tracks anywhere else in the game, if I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, Caroline was always connected to these planet levels, so she'd been working with these sort of planet themes in her music all along. But she actually had very different tracks, and the levels were very different when she started out.
Interesting.
It was more of a sort of walking sim, but in space. When she started working on her tracks, so she had completely different tracks. Maybe some of the melodies survived, but they were pretty different, I would say, early on, and the gameplay was very different as well.
Yeah,
but she always had this planet theme. Yeah.
So during this project, there were 4 composers. You were one of them.
Yeah.
Were there any conversation between the composers themselves, or did everybody just talk to Henrik in this case?
Mostly everybody talked to Henrik, with the exception of me and Niklas, I would say, because we spent a lot of time. We know each other very well, and we spent a lot of time like implementing my tracks. Whereas Caroline and Pelle didn't do a lot of interactive music. They sort of made the tracks the way they usually make music and sent them to Niklas, and he implemented them. But it's mostly like their songs are mostly just looping. Whereas I really got into making sort of dynamic interactive music. So that meant me spending a lot of time with Niklas and discussing things, and he had a big influence on the way everything turned out. But also Henrik made sure to sort of connect all of us composers and other people in the project as well. We had dinners and stuff, and
okay.
And like wrote to each other, like wrote emails and stuff to each other.
Yeah.
And there was actually talk early on about like making one song together, all 4 composers. But that didn't happen, and I'm not sure it would have made sense gameplay wise either, because it's kind of good that it's sort of separated into these different sections, I think.
Might have been, yes.
Yeah.
Like in Sweden, we have this saying. Well, in English, we got too many chefs, less of a soup.
Yes, I was thinking about that expression. Yeah, it might have been a case of that.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's like when I'm thinking about multiple composers going together, trying to make like the ultimate track in a sense. Like I would tend to feel like, okay, each composer has their kind of instrument, and all the instruments will kind of be in that track. Another case would be like, okay, we have 4 composers. Everybody will make their own kind of start and end. And then you can make like a credit scene where you play all those kind of tracks after each other in a sense. So it becomes like a mega mix of some sort.
Right. Yeah.
It's like you will know how it ends of the person that is in front of you, or etc. That could have been like an interesting take of making like a mega mix.
Yeah, almost like those drawings where you like draw ahead and then you fold the paper and give it to the next person.
To the next one, yeah. So like, I have a cowboy hat and I have swimming wear. Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
So when it comes to Caroline Karpinska's work here, like when did you hear it the first time, and do you remember your first initial like idea of what she presented to the game?
Yeah, absolutely. Her first sketches were pretty lo-fi sounding, but the musical quality just punched me in the face, because she's such a good instrumentalist, a violinist, and such a good like melody writer and arranger. So and she's the only one in the group that is classically trained. And that really brought something else to the mix, I think. So I have my sound, and Niklas has his sound, which is more electronic, ambient. And Pelle Hillström has his sound that is like 100% guitar, like electric guitar based. So it's a nice variation of styles. And Caroline's stuff really, really stands out, I think. Brilliant melodies. Yeah, really. No, I really enjoyed this one. I think this was a little bit of a curveball as well, but that is definitely coming from it being another composer, not essentially you. But it's so much fun to hear a little bit about the project and how you kind of work to. Well, in this case, you didn't really work together more than that. You actually worked on the soundtrack together. Yeah.
But with this being connected and so, would you like with Caroline? Would you love to work with her again in the future, or do you feel like you've done that and you just want to move on and do more collaborations in the future with other people?
Well, no, I would love to do that. Absolutely. Yes. I do work quite a bit with Gerda Holmquist, who plays the cello in this track. She didn't write anything for it, but Caroline and Gerda, they play in the same string quartet and have so for like 10, maybe 20 years or something.
Damn.
So, so they collaborate a lot, and I have collaborated with Gerda quite a bit. But it would be amazing to do something with like the two of them or the whole quartet. Or yeah.
I was so interested with the last name there, since it's the same last name that you have on Gerda.
Yes,
so
the same spelling.
Are you related?
Well,
yeah. I was like, are you related?
Yeah. One could think, but we're actually not. But we've known each other for like 20 years as well, and we've actually become neighbors a couple of years ago. Okay. So so we hang out, and she borrows my studio sometimes to rehearse, and I've recorded her for several different projects, and it's a great sort of ongoing collaboration.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
No, but I don't have any further questions. Since you haven't really written this track, it was more fun to go a little bit more on the analytic side of this and also listen to a little bit more surrounding the video game soundtrack. But I think it is time to listen to the next track, unless you have something to add on top of everything we already talked about.
No, I think I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, then we're moving on to an actual track you made.
Yes.
Awesome. The next track that we're listening to is Edith Part 2.
Yeah.
Till fots fick jag gå genom solsystemen innan jag fann den första tråden av min röda dräkt. Jag anar in mig själv någonstans i rymden. Hänger mitt hjärta, gnistor strömma ifrån
PinOut, Edith Part 2. And my emotion for this one, this is a song about our solar system. I just love the vocals that was added to this track. It really took me by surprise, to be honest. While playing the game, I did not first understand that the vocals, they are also in Swedish. I was so into like hearing something in English, and then I started to like, what is she singing about? And I couldn't, for the love of God, understand what it was. And then it just hits me. It's like, God damn it, this is in Swedish.
That's great.
But the track here, it is definitely 100% my favorite track during the whole game. I absolutely love this track.
Wow.
It made such an impact on me within this section at hand. The singing about space, and you're floating around on this thread going up into and through the space, in a sense. It's like everything was so painted so beautiful in this section, and it was so well accompanied by the music. So I would definitely love to hear and pick your brain a little bit more about this. Like, first and foremost, why vocals?
That was an idea of Henrik's. Again, speaking of like this creative collaboration, that's great things can come out of that.
100%.
I think he had listened to Vangelis quite a lot, like the guy who wrote the Blade Runner soundtrack. And there's an opera singer in that, at least a classically trained singer. He just said, yeah, why not use an opera singer for one track? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I started asking around some friends of mine who are sort of into the opera world, and got the tip to listen to Elisabeth Einarsdotter, who also lives in Malmö. And I listened to her, and I like fell in love with her voice.
Yeah.
And I started writing this melody and contacted her, and everything worked out really well. But I should mention that I think before that, or maybe it was during the same time that Henrik proposed having an opera singer, he also proposed the idea of finding a poem. I think it was his idea to find a poem.
Okay.
And he said, like, what if we find a poem in any language, but it should have something to do with like clouds or heaven or space or something like that, because he had an idea for a level where you're sort of walking around on clouds.
Okay.
So I think I started like just looking for poems about clouds, and then I sort of got into a rabbit hole and found this poem about space by a Finnish/Swedish poet called Edith Södergran, who lived about, in the early 20th century.
Yeah.
And I really just loved the language of it. And she's like a modernist poet. So that in part means that the poem is not written in like a classical rhythmical fashion. So the phrases are different lengths and everything, which sort of makes it harder to put music to it.
Okay.
It's not like the classic Greek hexameter or whatever, where everything's very rhythmic, like 6 beats and then 4 beats and 6 beats. And this is like modernist poetry, so it's more random. But that just inspired me to write a melody that just follows the words, basically.
Oh,
And so the melody is the song isn't in any particular time signature. Usually music is in 4/4 or in 3/4 or other time signatures. This one sort of flows about. Sometimes it's like in 4/4 and some 3 and sometimes 5 and so it just follows the words, basically.
Interesting. How was it for Elizabeth to sing to this? Of course, it helps a little bit with the music accompanied to it, but having a poem as like the framework for the singing, was it an easy task for her?
Yeah, the thing is that for her it was super easy. I had made a scratch vocal, so I sang on like a demo version of it.
Yeah.
But I also gave her sheet music. But she is professional opera singer, so for her it was super easy.
Okay.
But it was still a bit shocking to me to hear her just sing. Well, not my words, but my melody, and she sung it like she had never sung anything else in all her life. It sounded so natural and so beautiful. And it's a really, really cool experience to work with somebody who's masterful at their craft.
And I'm guessing she was recorded in your studio as well?
Yes.
Yeah. Was it the first time you had an opera singer in your studio?
Yes, absolutely. It was the first time.
The pipes of those people.
Oh, yes. That was very interesting because my studio is very like acoustically proof, like very soundproof and very dead sounding, no echo whatsoever. And the way we're used to hearing opera is like in a big opera house or in a concert hall, with huge acoustic, or in a church or something. So it was very interesting to hear her in this really dead space, but like her vocals took so much, like she sings so loud the way opera singers do. I mean, because they don't use microphones when they perform live, so they have trained this.
They are the microphone.
Yes, exactly. So that was really fascinating, just to hear her sound just fill the entire room.
And for me, I know one person that has the education of opera, and I've heard him sing a little bit.
Yeah.
And it is crazy. It is an experience. But I've never been into an actual opera concert, or what they might call it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have a specific word, or if it is just an opera concert.
Yeah, it's an opera, basically.
Yeah, that's true. It's just an opera.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's quite an experience. I've been to 2 operas, I think, but it was many years ago. So I was dragged there both times. And I was probably too young to enjoy it, but I kind of feel like I should give it another shot.
After this,
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody who loves this song, I mean, I should go and listen to an opera now as well.
Yeah.
Maybe not essentially in Finnish, but maybe, I don't know. I guess operas are usually like in Italian or something like that.
Yeah,
anyway, so.
Italian or German, those are the most common languages for opera.
Interesting. German as well. Never really thought about that one.
Yeah, Wagner.
Yeah,
like these huge the Ring operas and that kind of stuff.
Huh.
But yeah, Italian is probably the most common.
Yeah. And I'm betting, like, when you started working on this soundtrack for Overlook Trails, like, yeah, it can literally end everywhere, but you never expected in opera.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, those were like the... Yeah.
How did you feel when Henrik
memories.
presented that idea? It's like, hey, there should be an opera singer here.
I was super excited. It was just, we were just casually writing to each other over Messenger or something. Like, what about an opera singer, So, yeah, it was super exciting.
Didn't it feel weird in the beginnings? Like, I'm guessing you had another kind of sight on how the music should be for that specific level, in a sense. And then this kind of comes as a curveball in. It's like, yeah, it might work, maybe I might need...
Absolutely. Well, no, it didn't feel weird, and that it just felt exciting because we had this very early version of this level where you're walking on clouds, and I had just made some, pretty basic electronic ambient music that I wasn't super excited about. It was just, this could work.
Okay.
So doing this shift towards this was creatively very, very exciting.
That's
for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that is great.
And it was a nice challenge as well because I was like, okay, I need to write something that, a professional singer can sing, and I need to do something that I can feel proud of myself. So it was like a good challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know if this was the first work in a video game for Elizabeth as well?
It was.
Has she done?
Yes. It was her first. Yeah.
That's awesome. You were her first.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, but of course, in contrast to all these kind of tracks and so on, things have changed over the course of time. Is kind of what I understand from each and every discussion we're doing around this. And you talked a lot about clouds for this specific track, but in the end, it got to the part where you're basically kind of climbing on a rope, in a sense.
Yeah, exactly. And that's all the words in the poem. The words in the poem inspired Henrik to create this level, basically.
Oh.
Because she sings about the first thread of her red dress, if you translate it to English. So that's the red thread that you're like riding along in this section is the red thread that she is mentioning in the poem.
Yeah, I love that fact. I never thought about that.
Yeah. And she also says, somewhere in space, my heart is hanging there, sort of. And in the end of the level, you sort of, you travel through space and you see this heart and you fall into it. And it turns out that the heart is the spaceship that you've been in all along. So that's also a very literal revision of the poem.
It becomes deep, man.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
No, but like I said, this was definitely my favorite track from when I played the game. It had such an impact. Might have been a little bit biased because I'm Swedish as well, but having the whole thing, it was a good section within the game that I really enjoyed. But the track-wise, it really made an impact on what I was doing.
That's nice.
So that's a big kudos.
Thanks. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. But I don't have any further questions or something, ideas, etc. for this specifically. So unless you have something else you felt like I missed talking about in this.
No, I think we've covered most of it. Just one thing I could mention is that this song was actually written before the one that's called Edith Part 1. So in reality, this is Part 1 and the other one is Part 2. So this the way this track ended sort of connects to the way this track begins. whatever. I'm messing
They're
up here
connected
in my mind.
somehow.
Yeah, they are connected. Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. That is also a fun fact. Like having the songs also actually connected in that sense.
Yeah.
Huh. Damn. No, but my last track that I've chosen for this week's episode was also, yet again, a little bit of a curveball when it comes to the music, because it kind of sticks out a little bit, I would say.
Yeah.
And you like parts, apparently, because this is Exotica Part 5. There we had Exotica Part 5. Like I said, you have a lot of parts. There's 7 parts to this Exotic.
Yeah.
But definitely the feeling that I'm getting from this Part 5 is music. It's not really my area, but it does give me a little bit of tango vibes with this track. And overall, this track kind of stands out for the rest of the soundtrack. It makes me wonder if there's a reason by like breaking the frame in a sense of Overlook Trail. But like, I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, because Overlook Trail is kind of about breaking itself in a sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's like listening in on the music here. Like there's part that we hear in the later half, and I need to ask, is it a Thermine? Because I am definitely getting Ghost Tango vibes.
Yeah. It's not, but it's nearly a Theremin, because it's a Moog synth.
Moog synth.
Yeah. And that's basically, I just use the sine wave oscillator on the Moog. So that's very, very similar to Theremin sound.
So you're basically simulating Thermine.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. That's what I was aiming.
A new ROM hack releasing.
Yeah.
No, but due to the sense of the vibe of this track, and also there are so many parts, I'm guessing, like, I don't know for sure, because I'm not 100% sure about this, but I'm guessing this is the radio music in the ship.
Yes.
Am I right? Yes. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
No, but I kind of like it, because there is an achievement where you need to go and kind of DJ the ship a little bit, switching around the music and so on.
Yeah.
I didn't pay too much attention to which specific song I was listening to, but I really kind of, when you're playing the game, I'm just getting like a small Bond vibe feel in a relaxed room.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
You can press a button, a robot comes in, gives you like a martini, you can pick it up, or you can just drop it or whatever. And there's a pool there you can hang out in. There's a chair you can bounce on. It's like it's like it just feels like an agent movie in some sense, but I'm in space.
Yes, but I know Henrik was very inspired by 60s lounge like music and that sort of environment. Yeah, sort of James Bond-esque with this like the martini and the like lounge furniture and all that stuff. So yeah, he was definitely going for a very specific 60s lounge Exotica vibe.
That's nice. Was that one of the kind of words following in? Because there's a little bit difference, of course, between all of these different parts. But the fifth one stuck out a little bit more to me. That's why I chose that one specifically.
Yeah. Henrik asked me to just make a bunch of these songs. Like, he didn't say how many. he just said like, make a bunch of 60s sounding, easy listening, Exotica lounge kind of music.
Is this a genre a bunch of?
Yeah, a bit. Actually, I've been inspired by some similar music for the game Sprinkle Islands that we made. So, and I had listened to some of that stuff just independently of that as well. When I was younger, I had a sort of a phase where I listened to a lot of bossa nova and Exotica and that kind of stuff from the 60s. So I was kind of into it. When I made these, I didn't listen to a lot of reference music. I just basically
went by memory.
Wanted to see what I could come up with. So I just made one track after the other, and we put them in. And Niklas created this sort of system for this. It's like a tape machine in the game that you mentioned. So all these tracks can be heard there, but I suppose many players will only hear like one or two tracks, or no, maybe a bit more, because I think they come in at random when you enter the ship again. But I think a lot of players won't hear all of them. But if you want to, you can like fast forward and listen to all of them, and you can play them backwards. As you mentioned, you can get an achievement for like playing it backwards and adding this little effect that Niklas created. There's a little smiley button you can push, which adds a really cool like echo.
Yeah, I just saw the achievement, and there's like, this is the only place I understand I can do something, so I just clicked everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Just went batshit crazy over the console.
Yeah. Yeah, so this was fun, and this particular track, Henrik also influenced this one, because he asked me to do some things that I, as a musician, wouldn't have wanted to do initially, because I recorded. It's like I use an old, well, not an old, but I use an analog drum machine for this. It's also a Moog drum machine called DFAM, or Drummer from Another Mother, which is really fun. And I used my old Philips organ that is actually from the 60s. So
that one is the legit one.
Yeah, exactly. And the drum machine is modern, but it sounds super vintage, especially when you plug it through an amplifier and have some like spring reverb on it, kind of stuff. But I recorded everything, and then Henrik just said, "Yeah, it's good," but I sort of tried to pitch the melody down to half speed, and I was like, "What? Why did you do that?" And then he played it to me, and the sound quality was really crappy. He just made it in Audacity, but the idea was kind of good. So I sort of went, "Okay, yeah, maybe you're onto something there," and I pitched it myself with some other tools, and got it to sound quite cool. So it's not actually half speed. It's just it's
has the sound of half speed.
Yeah, it's an octave lower, but at the same speed.
Okay.
Which I wouldn't have done by myself, but it made it sound even weirder and cooler. So it was good input from Henrik.
Yeah. No, overall, when I'm listening through the soundtracks and everything from Overlook Trail, one thing that really popped into my mind is the length of the track. Like, is there a specific idea or why they are chosen to be so long? Like, a lot of the tracks can be like 4 to 6 minutes long, and it feels like longer tracks to me as a listener.
Yeah. You're right. Yes, some of my tracks are the longest ones, and those are intentionally long because they are not interactive, those tracks. So the ones that aren't interactive, I wanted them to be really long so that the player wouldn't get sick of them. like looping over and over, because the other tracks that I have that are a bit shorter are usually the ones that are interactive and that can end up sounding in different ways depending on what you do as a player.
Yeah. Because one thing that kind of comes to mind, especially when we're looking at tracks that are 7 minutes long, it's almost 10 minutes. Like we're talking about 20% of an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for me, who play the game, I played it a little bit above 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like it feels like I did not hear repeating music that much, only due to the sense that I kind of failed a challenge and needed to re-listen a track from the start.
Yeah.
Like the dynamic kind of functionality of it, and even if a track is like between 4 to 7 minutes long, from your perspective as a composer, what is the bigger difference? Like for me, I might not have started like thinking about a game being repetitive, even if it was 4 minutes long rather than 7 minutes long, for example.
Yeah.
From a composer's perspective, like what are your thoughts on this?
I remember intentionally making a couple of them really long because I myself spent such a long time in the levels when we were developing it. Because I'm the kind of player who likes to explore, and I get lost easily in like 3D environments. So I was like, wow, this needs to be longer because I'm spending so much time in this, forest or whatever.
Okay.
So that was, a practical reason for me. And also those long tracks are really sort of ambient and flowy, so it's nice to just keep going when you're recording stuff and writing it to just really get into the vibe.
Yeah. For me, who does not have any understanding of music and structure and so on, for me, when it's a longer track, it usually says to me like there is so much more changes within the music sections and so on that may change. So it's not 7 minutes long song that is supposed to be like a 3 minute and then you just looped it once. So that's usually what it says to me as a listener, seeing a song is long.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, in this case, they don't change that much. It's more a case of just letting the vibe do its thing. Really getting into the
Have you
chorus.
Have you been forced to kind of stop your own vibe sometimes? Like
not in this project.
Like you were making the music. It's like we're 10 minutes in. Fudge! I need to make it smaller.
That would be the case in most other projects, but not in Overlook Trail. Henrik would just just encourage that kind of stuff.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, because he's really into like progressive rock and ambient music and that kind of stuff, where longer tracks are considered a normal thing. So so he would just encourage it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love that to hear these kind of like experiences from composers. Like it's not always like, no, it needs to be this, it needs to be that.
Yeah.
Like here we have somebody that he gives and he takes a little bit. It's like push and shove experience going back and forth. I just love that, and it feels so wholesome. Of course, it kind of helps that you know each other, but sometimes I feel that could be like a bane as well. Like somebody too well, so you might not push each other's limits, or maybe you're that kind of relationship in friendship where it's like, oh, we're pushing each other's buttons all the time, etc.
Well, not all the time, but we know each other well enough to sort of challenge each other a little bit, I think. Yeah, but at the same time, he wanted to give us composers freedom. But I would say, like during the last 2 years of the project, we sort of started working a bit more traditionally, like. Because you can't just keep on improvising forever and changing stuff forever and iterating forever. You need to sort of, pin down what it is that we want to do, and how the music should function with the gameplay. So it was the first couple of years that were very improvisational and experimental, and then we sort of got a
Then you
bit
knew
more,
what to do.
Yeah, exactly. We knew what to do and like fine-tuning things. Like
Okay. Interesting. I love that.
yeah.
But yeah, I think it is time for us to play the last track of the week now. We've been talking for a long time, and
Yes.
it has come to the end.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, even podcasts end apparently.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Are you ready to talk about the last track?
Absolutely. I'm ready.
Awesome. Then we're rolling in with the track Mabon.
放不下，所以生气，用画像的姿态抛开，已完成的战法即胜率。灵魂变得比回忆还重，凋零便是起伏，回归便是出发。一整年都像是秋天。
Fading out the beautiful track of Mabon. My emotion for this track was very cozy and warm. And during the gameplay segment of this track, it really just hit me well. As I did hear this track before I was playing the section, because you presented your tracks and I was like, okay, I need to listen through these. And then I played the rest of the game, and that's when I heard this track as well. And it was so beautiful with the segment where this is played. And it has this warm and cozy thing. And it reminds me a little bit of autumn. And it's me basically seeing the sun, it shines through some branches while I'm sitting on a bench. That's kind of the picture that I got while listening to this on the side with the headphones on. But excuse me, but my ancient language ain't that best. But I can tell that this is not Japanese. But considering the second name that I see on the track here, Yenting Lo, may I assume this is sung in Chinese or Mandarin?
Yes, it is. it is Chinese. Although she is from Taiwan.
Okay.
But yeah, they speak Chinese there as well.
Yep.
Might be a few like dialect differences that I don't know.
Yeah, that is something I recently come to learn. There are very different dialects, and some of them are even considered their own kind of language in a sense.
Ah, okay. Huh.
So I've learned a hefty bit recently.
Cool. Yeah.
But anyway, like you said that was she from or was she living in Taiwan?
She is from Taiwan.
She's from Taiwan. So
yes,
somebody you actually had at your studio as well recording then?
No, she recorded from her space. I think she is in the Netherlands or Belgium now.
Okay.
But
so too much time difference at least.
Yeah, exactly. But she is somebody that Henrik, I don't think he's actually met her, but Henrik and I we met her boyfriend at GDC many years ago. And he mentioned that, my girlfriend or wife, I don't remember if they were married at the time. She's a jazz singer and she makes this music, and Henrik listened to it and was really fascinated, and then he played me some of her stuff, and I also really loved it. So so Henrik got the idea that we should collaborate with her.
Yeah.
And it was also a super smooth collaboration.
Nice.
She's also such a pro. Like, she's a trained jazz singer, and she records a lot. So she was like super efficient. When I sent her music, I asked her to. Henrik asked her to write like a poem about the fall, and I made some music, but just sort of chords, like background music, and I asked her to write the melody herself. So we co-composed it, I suppose you could say.
I'm guessing it was a little bit easier for you since you don't, to my knowledge, don't speak Chinese.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that was the whole thing.
Writing for something when you don't know anything might be hard.
Yes, that would have been too complicated because we wanted it to be natural for her to sing these words in a way that makes sense for her.
Yeah.
But she was such a pro, just adapting to like the musical style that I had set, but adding her own thing to it. Really cool.
Like in the end of this track, like what came out of it? It's like how much did you produce out of that, and how much did Jen Ting work with the melody and everything that we hear within this track?
The melody is all her. And then she added lots and lots of harmony vocals, and that was Henrik's idea. And she was like, okay, I'll do that. And like an hour later, she sent us tons of files with these beautiful harmony vocals.
Oh.
So the melody was all her, but all the music, all the instruments is me.
Okay.
So it was a very very good way of collaborating. Very specific roles for the two of us.
Yes.
And she sang everything twice. So in the soundtrack version, I sort of arranged the song to make sense as a song. But when you're in the game, it's very interactive. So when you're sort of standing or walking around in this level, you only hear the guitars and you hear the soft version of her vocal. And when you start flying on this leaf, because it's about autumn and falling leaves and all that. So when you fly on the leaves, we switch to her singing the same melody but louder. And we add this electronic layer as well. And then when you, after a while in the level, you get to land on these little bird feeders. And then we take away the electronics and the loud vocals, and it's just guitar and soft vocal. And then when you start coming near the end of the level, it gets more intense, and we add all her harmony vocals. And then you enter this sort of tunnel, and we add another electronic, like drone-y layer. So
it kind of adds a lot of different layers, and you're taking in whatever is happening with the player and experience. From my perspective, who play the game and listen it on both sections, it really had like a deeper meaning in a sense, especially going back and forth between these kind of sections within the specific level. It really made an impact. I really enjoyed this one. This was one of those tracks that really was like, okay, when I listen to it, it's like, it's okay, I like it. But then I play the game, it's like, I really like it. And now that I'm going back, I'm really loving it.
That's great art.
Yeah.
I love hearing that, because actually I think the soundtrack version of this song is fine, but I think it really shines when you experience it in the game. And this was one of the levels where Niklas and I spent the most time on the implementation.
Oh, okay.
It was quite tricky to get everything to work.
What was the trickiest part? Was it about getting these layers to work together, or was it anything else?
Yeah, it was a very specific thing. And it's like when you go from the loud vocals to the soft vocals, if she sings a phrase the exact moment that you land on one of the bird feeders, it was quite hard to get that crossfade to sound smooth between those two vocal takes. So that was pretty tricky. And I think we got it to a point where it sounds good like 90% of the time. But you can, if you're unlucky, you can get a transition
Those 10,
that's less. But yeah, we worked a lot on it. So I think it's one of those pieces that is really meant to be listened to in the game, I think.
Yeah. Do you know today what she's singing about? More than just autumn as a reference?
Yes. Yeah, I actually have a rough translation of it.
Okay.
That she sent. Let me see if I can
find it.
Yes. Hold on.
And one thing that comes to mind now that I'm also having the music in the background is like I'm kind of represented with another kind of thought process of listening to it. Is just hearing her in the background. I don't know why, but for me, it gives me a little bit of Disney princess vibe.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like I just hear her and her calm and nice and structured voice. It's like, she has these kind of small little waily sections in the track, and I was like, it feels like she's calling the birds.
Yeah. I get that.
You have some sort of like Snow White.
Yeah.
That is not what I thought about when I was listening in on this, because I was so more focused about like environment for some reason while I was listening to this.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. But that's
music is amazing.
Yes, for sure. But that's I like that vibe. It's something I can get behind. Absolutely. Yeah. So I found the lyrics here, and she notes that this is a rough translation.
Yes.
But the poem is called Mabon on the Paper Plane. So that might have been like an idea that Henrik and she had before it was a leaf you were writing on. It might have been a paper plane early on.
Could be.
Yeah. And it's roughly translated, it's can't lay down, therefore rise, gliding down and let go, the completed bloom and thriving green, when the soul becomes heavier than memories. Withering is a bless, return is departure, and the whole year feels like autumn. That's the first part of it, and then there's some more, but
that's beautiful.
Yeah,
and I hope
so
people that understand the language can like enjoy it even more and further. I hope.
Yeah, I hope so too.
All in all, with all the different tracks we talked about, I was like, I am amazed about the work that has put into this, and being able to understand a little bit more now that I've like sit here and talk to you actively. Like, good job. I'm losing words, man.
Thanks. There, that means a lot. We all put a lot of work in it for sure. Henrik more than anyone. Many years. Like
I don't remember when I noticed he started with it, but it's definitely, it feels like more than 5 years ago. It feels like it.
Yeah,
I think
no. I think he worked on this 7 years. So that's
insane.
Yeah, it's a really long time.
Yeah, but you know what he wants, and he takes it. That's one thing I've noticed with Henrik.
Absolutely.
I don't know why. He sounds like a robber when I say
yeah.
That structure is like, he knows what he wants, he just takes it.
Yeah.
No, he's a super sweet and swell guy.
Yeah.
Let me just have that said, so nobody thinks I'm like writing him out like a robber or something.
Yeah.
I heard on this podcast that
yeah.
like, please don't. in all honesty, it's like I love this soundtrack. It is amazing on so many levels, and I really enjoy it so much more after playing the game. The game is a sweet and I wouldn't say easy experience. I still struggled with certain sections.
Yeah.
But I had a blast playing the game. I'd never really felt any frustration or anything, and it was this kind of, you can pick up and play it a little bit. It's so smooth to go between these different levels if you want to. You could theoretically walk everywhere if you want to, but you can also just like quick jump between everything and find it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I have no further questions surrounding this because nothing is on top of my mind right now that I feel like I can, well, feel like I can ask. I have nothing else to ask because questions is out of order at the moment.
Yeah.
But like every other episode that I'm making here, I always end it with 2 questions. And of course, we're going to start with a harder one, I would expect, as the first question. And during this project that you've been working on for such a long time, what do you remember was kind of the bigger challenge with this project for you?
It was probably that I was given so much freedom in the beginning. It's quite unusual for a video game composer because we're, in a sense, we're hired guns most of the time. We get a brief. Sometimes they can be very specific about what kind of music they want and all that. And this was the exact opposite to that. And that can be quite challenging to just sit with a blank piece of paper and now you're supposed to create something amazing. So that was a bit of a challenge, but a very, very fun one, I would say.
Did you kind of, let's say, attack that type of problem in a specific way, or did you have experience working in that kind of fashion before?
I didn't have that experience. I've never had a gig that was this free. I mean, as I mentioned, it became more structured
over the course of time.
After a while, but yeah, exactly. But no, I've never had that experience. No, I basically just went with it and figured I'll only get this chance once in a lifetime, so I'd better make the most of it.
Definitely. I mean, every time somebody does something they love, just take the chance, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Go for it.
Yeah.
And on the topic of something that has been challenging, of course, we would like to hear a little bit more about what you felt was an achievement with this work on Overlook Trail. Like, what did you feel was an achievement to yourself?
I think one very specific thing would be working with Elisabeth that we talked about earlier, the opera singer, and sort of gathering the courage to set music to this poem and send it to her. Like, it's a very different, like the classical world is a very different world than the musical world that I'm a part of. With traditions and years of training and long history of music back on. So I had a lot of respect for that. And
were you a bit scared to push that send button?
A little bit, to be honest, a little bit. But I felt that I ended up making something that I was proud of, and I figured, this is quite good. I think this could actually work. And then, like when I met Elisabeth, she was super down to earth and so easy to work with and everything. So there was nothing to be afraid of. But felt like an achievement that I proved to myself that I could pull it off.
That's an amazing achievement, in my opinion.
Thanks.
You should definitely be proud of that. I mean, you created yet another OST for people to enjoy and listen to. Like, of course, that's an achievement as well. But now we're not structuring each and every achievement, right?
Yeah.
It might be a long conversation.
Yeah,
that's a whole other podcast.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, but is there anything else that you feel like I missed talking about, or you feel like, oh, this is something hidden that we haven't really shown anybody that you could spoil here in the podcast about Overlook Trail?
I think we've we've talked about a lot of it, actually. We've
Yes.
talked about I think we've talked about the tracks of mine that stand out the most.
Mm.
To be honest, no, I feel like we've covered most of it.
That is great. Then I'm happy for not missing anything.
Yeah.
No, but moving onward then. We're closing the sack where Overlook Trail exists and letting that go for now. And looking a little bit ahead of time in the future. What is up next for you, Douglas?
Oh, I am working on yet another Teardown DLC.
Ooh.
And that one is actually unannounced, but I'm also working on the Teardown multiplayer that is
Ooh, interesting.
coming out quite soon.
I didn't know I already thought they had multiplayer, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. No,
I haven't been following the project in a while.
Yeah, there's been a fan-made multiplayer, not a mod, but like a fan-made project. But the official one is finally coming out this year for PC at least. It's coming out in an experimental form this year, and later on for consoles as well.
And of course, I need to ask the dumb questions, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead.
Is multiplayer music different from single player music?
Yes, because there is no music. So I'm actually just working on I'm actually just working on sound design elements.
Okay.
There's some lobby music. So that's some waiting around music. But other than that, it's just sound design stuff.
Yeah. I knew I had to ask the dumb questions because it is just too good to be true, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it could be that there were, because like there's different ways. There's a lot of different game modes that we will ship, and most likely people will create their own game modes as well.
Yeah.
But most of these competitive game modes doesn't have any music. But you can like play the campaign co-op with a bunch of people, and then obviously you will have the same music as when you play the campaign solo.
Yeah. Like could have had a hilarious answer that is sarcastic. It's like, we're gonna do the wild crazy thing. Like when we're doing multiplayer, we're actually adding stereo music.
Yeah.
The single player is only mono.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would be hilarious.
Yeah.
No, in all honesty. No, but I'm looking forward to this too, especially from my point of view, listening in on the music that you'll make and the sound design in this case for this project specifically.
Yeah, I can mention that I'm also working on an upcoming game called Faded.
Faded, okay.
Yes, that you can look up online. I'm not sure when it's coming out, but it maybe next year or the year after that.
But there's something out there that is like a teaser trailer or something like that we can present then. Hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah. Great. Then we will
no, it's not a trailer actually, but there's gameplay footage.
Okay.
Like the developer is very open with the development, so
then we can present something to people that are interested in this.
Absolutely.
They will have a link ready for everything. And on the topic of links, if somebody feels like, hey, I wanna get to know Douglas even more, like, is there any way they can contact you? Maybe with questions as well, or job opportunities unless they're a young early.
yeah. Then don't bother. No. Yes, you can absolutely contact me through LinkedIn or X or my YouTube channel, or I have a homepage as well. So there's lots of different ways. But the one that I'm actually most excited about is my YouTube channel, and that's not because for like marketing reasons or whatever. It's just that it's just think it's a lot of fun to create YouTube videos, and I have a small but very trusting following there. So that's what I'm mostly excited about. But other than that, you can just find my music on Spotify and Apple Music and Bandcamp and all that.
Yeah. Well, that's great. And for people listening in, I hope you go and like and subscribe to Douglas' YouTube channel then.
Please
to
do.
get a little bit more so people can follow more about your work and
Yes.
whatever shenanigans you can come up with.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also for this episode, so we're not forgetting this, you were actually bringing something to this podcast, and especially to everybody who's over on the Patreon page for this podcast.
Yes. I'm giving all the Patreons download keys for the Bandcamp version of the Overlook Trail soundtrack. So you can
Which
get
is
it in.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Sharing is caring. All that.
Sharing is caring. But in the end, everybody's going to make money, right?
Well, that too.
But I hope people that over on Patreon that gets these keys, I will message them out for everybody who is currently when this episode is live, that is a Patreon member. And as Douglas said, you will get access to the Overlook Trail soundtrack and can just listen in on that. And if you love the Overlook Trail soundtrack, go buy the rest of everything Douglas have done and support him, because he does amazing work.
Thank you, Chris. That means a lot.
Yeah, and on the top of thank you for joining in on this week's podcast as well. So
my pleasure.
Is there anything else that you just want to say that so people can hear? Any motivating words, or just want to tell everybody to don't forget to tie their shoelaces?
No, just to remind people to do what you love and be nice to each other out there.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Except for your siblings. Punch the shit out of them.
Yeah.
That was
Always.
Chris's word, not Douglas. In case you didn't spot the difference.
Yeah.
This goes out to my sister.
Yeah.
No, but anyway, thank you so much. It's been a blast. We've been sitting here and talking back and forth for a little bit more than 2 hours. I've had an absolutely blast, just like last time. As always, it is so much fun to just sit down and talk to you. Every time I met you, it's been a fun, fantastic experience as well. Just getting to know you a little bit more.
Likewise, Chris.
Yeah.
Likewise. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah. So if you, the listener, have enjoyed this episode and you want to find more episodes just like this one, you can find Gameable Audio on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and Pocket Casts. And don't forget to also subscribe and like to our YouTube channel. Feel free to follow and comment on one of our social medias as well. It's either on Facebook or on Instagram. Just search for Gameable Audio and you'll find us there. And as always, support this podcast. Of course, it's free. It's always going to be free for everybody. I'm not planning to put any sort of ads or anything within this podcast. But if you want to support my work for doing this, then feel free to support me over on Patreon. And you can also get amazing gifts sometimes. Like Douglas gifted keys to everybody this time. But physical rewards and digital rewards are usually being given away, and I basically give them away to the listeners who support me on Patreon. And the current awesome backers that we do have today is Daniel Onemark, Lars Schenström, Titti Schenström, Kevin Wikström, Sanders Wikström, Mats El Kebab och Tapper Holmquist, and Alexander Halldén. Thank you so much for being part and supporting this podcast. And links to where you can either buy and support things that Douglas have worked on, you'll find those in the episode's description. Check it out. And currently, I do not have a next episode theme, as I am currently in conversations with multiple composers, just trying to figure out a set date and everything. So when Douglas and I recorded this, I did not have any specific follow-up special or anything. But there are more special coming, so there might be some delay. But as soon as I can, I will get on the regular schedule with releasing bi-weekly episodes. And the podcast theme music was, as always, composed by the amazing Thor Myrdal. And with that said, this was episode 62 on the Game Overlook Trail, together with Douglas Holmquist. I am your host, Christofer Schenström. And with that said, thank you all for listening in, and see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.